Nous passons à présent à l'examen du sous-point 7a, donc l'examen des candidatures pour inscription sur la liste du patrimoine culturel immatériel nécessitant une sauvegarde urgente. Donc, puis-je inviter Monsieur le Secrétaire à le présenter. Merci beaucoup, Tim.
Je vous remercie. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Under this sub-item, the committee will examine the 4 nominations submitted by Chile, Turkey, Vietnam, and Albania in that order. The file from Albania is a nomination to the urgent safeguarding list combined with a request for international assistance. Before starting the examination of the nominations, you may wish to refresh your mind with the criteria that should guide your decisions today. And I'm asking the colleagues to put them on screen. I will not read them out, but do allow me to point out that, that under the rules, the submitting state is asked to demonstrate that a nominated element satisfy all of these criteria known as U1, U2, sorry, we'll get them on the screen in a minute. U1, U2, U3, U4, U5, and there is a U6 in very special cases. For the purposes of today, you will be considering U1 to U5 only. Thank you, Mr. Chairperson.
Nous allons passer maintenant à l'examen des dossiers individuels. Nous allons d'abord examiner la candidature de la poterie de Quilchamali et Santa Cruz de Cuca proposée par le Chili. Monsieur Petrillo, vous avez maintenant la parole pour nous présenter les conclusions de l'organe d'évaluation sur cette candidature. Vous avez la parole.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The first file today is Quilchamali and Santa Cruz de Cuca pottery submitted by Chile. The element is embedded in the mestizo cultural tradition of central Chile and is characterized by black functional and decorative objects with white accents, created using techniques dating back centuries. The production encompasses various stages, from the gathering of raw clay materials to the production and finishing of the products. A source of social and economic autonomy, the practice highlights women's not subordinate role in gender relations. The evaluation body considered that the nomination meets all 5 criteria. The file explains the various threats to the element, describing in particular 3 risk factors which highlight the need for urgent safeguarding, and the proposed safeguarding plan is coherent with this situation. However, the file points out that one of the main problems is the lack of legal protection for production-related intellectual property. In this regard, the evaluation body recalls that the inscription on the urgent safeguarding list does not assign any intellectual property rights. In conclusion, the evaluation body recommends the inscription of this element on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. Thank you, Mr. President.
Je vous remercie pour cette présentation. Je vois que le bureau n'a pas reçu de demande d'ouverture de débat ou d'amendement pour ce dossier. Donc, puis-je demander au comité d'adopter le projet de décision sur ce dossier tel qu'il apparaît sur les écrans? OK. Donc, vous avez le projet de décision sous les yeux. Est-ce qu'il y a des objections à l'adoption de ce projet? Je n'en vois aucune. Donc, je considère que la décision 17.com 7.a.1 comme étant adoptée. Félicitations au Chili. Félicitations au Chili. Le Chili, vous avez la parole pour 2 minutes. Merci.
Muchas gracias, señor presidente, por sus palabras. En primer lugar, queremos agradecer la hospitalidad de Marruecos y la cordial bienvenida que nos han brindado durante estos días. Mi país quiere asimismo expresar nuestra satisfacción y agradecimiento al Comité por la nominación e inscripción de la alfarería de Quinchamalí y Santa Cruz de Cuca en la lista del patrimonio cultural inmaterial que requiere medidas urgentes de salvaguardia. Es en el valle central de la región de Ñuble, centro-sur de Chile, donde se encuentran las localidades de Quinchamalí y Santa Cruz de Cuca. En estos territorios, artesanas y artesanos han desarrollado por más de 2 siglos la alfarería negra con incisos blancos. Se trata de una técnica reconocida como herencia cultural que se ha mantenido hasta la actualidad de forma ininterrumpida. Esta alfarería se caracteriza por la producción de piezas utilitarias y ornamentales, tales como ollas, fuentes y vajilla doméstica en general, así como figuras ligadas al paisaje campesino, resaltando la figura femenina de la guitarrera, esto es la mujer campesina con guitarra, y la figura masculina del guaso, que es el hombre de nuestro campo. Las mujeres loceras son las protagonistas centrales de todas las fases de la producción artesanal, haciendo que la alfarería contribuya con una autonomía social y económica importante a las mujeres campesinas, resaltando su papel no subordinado en las relaciones de género. Este trabajo mancomunado ha evidenciado la complejidad de las problemáticas que ponen en riesgo la continuidad de la alfarería de Quinchamalí y Santa Cruz de Coca, razón por la cual se recurre a esta lista de UNESCO con el fin de implementar medidas urgentes para mantener viva una tradición patrimonial, permitiendo movilizar la cooperación y acuerdos desde distintos niveles. Por último, quisiera destacar el esfuerzo de toda la comunidad de cultura de Quinchamalí y Santa Cruz de Cuca y felicitarles por la mantención de esta tradición y perseverancia en el conocimiento, que ha sido fruto de su trabajo constante por valorar su territorio y sus saberes ancestrales. Muchas gracias.
Merci le Chili, encore une fois, félicitations. Merci. Ça, ce sont les moments les plus agréables de cette convention. Monsieur Patrio, pourriez-vous présenter la candidature suivante qui est liée au travail traditionnel de la pierre d'Ahlat, proposée par Turquie. La parole est à vous. Merci.
Thank you, Mr. President. The next file is traditional art stonework submitted by Turkey. Traditional art stonework involves the knowledge, methods, skills, and aesthetic understanding of the instruction of volcanic Atlas stone, as well its shaping and ornamenting. It also involves the construction of structures and creation of artifacts, and its bearers and practitioners include stone miners, stone carvers, stone masons, and motif designers. The evaluation body considered that the nomination meets all 5 criteria and highly appreciate the nominating of an element that demonstrates the close links between the conservation of tangible cultural heritage and the safeguarding of intangible cultural heritage. The nomination file provides a clear explanation of the need for urgent safeguarding of the element, and the safeguarding plan is coherent with this situation. In conclusion, the evaluation body recommends the inscription of this element on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. Thank you, Mr. President.
Merci beaucoup, M. Petrillo, et je vous remercie encore une fois pour la présentation claire et détaillée de cet élément. Le secrétariat n'a pas reçu de demande d'ouverture de débat ou d'amendement pour ce dossier, donc je vais demander au comité d'adopter le projet de décision sur ce dossier tel qu'il apparaît sur les écrans et voir s'il n'y a pas d'observation. Je déclare donc cette décision comme étant adoptée, la décision 17.com 7.a.2 adoptée. Merci. Félicitations à la Turquie. La Turquie, vous avez la parole et puis je pense qu'il y a une vidéo tout de suite après. Madame l'ambassadeur, vous avez la parole.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you. The traditional Ahlat stonework refers to the knowledge methods, skills, and aesthetic understanding surrounding the extraction of volcanic Ahlat stones, shaping and ornamenting the stones, and then using them to create structures and artifacts. Ahlat stone is a volcanic stone extracted by traditional methods from the foothills of the mountain Nemrut, located near Ahlat, the district of the Bitlis province. Traditional Ahlat stonework has great importance for Ahlat as a part of urban identity and image. Traditional Ahlat houses constructed by Ahlat stones not only represent an architectural style, but also reflect social and cultural life. Traditional knowledge concerning the element has been transmitted from generation to generation for centuries, but its viability has faced serious threats in the last decades, including demographic changes and the widespread of using modern building techniques and materials in the region. This inscription demonstrates the close links between the conservation of tangible cultural heritage and the safeguarding of intangible cultural heritage. Finally, we are grateful for the strong networking and cooperation among stakeholders at local and national level. During the file preparation process, local administrations, NGOs, academics, bearers and practitioners work together in harmony. As the delegation of Turkey, we are very appreciative for the recognition of our joint efforts to identify the element and to elaborate safeguarding measures by all related partners. Thank you.
Et Madame l'ambassadeur, je crois qu'il y a la vidéo maintenant. Oui. À l'organe d'évaluation de bien vouloir présenter l'élément. Merci beaucoup.
The next file is art of pottery making of Cham people submitted by Vietnam. Cham pottery products are mainly household utensils, religious objects, and fine artworks, including jars, pots, trays, and vases. They are an expression of individual creativity based on the knowledge transmitted within the community. The pottery is not glazed, but fired outdoors with firewood and straw for 7 to 8 hours at a temperature of about 80 degrees Celsius. Raw materials, 800 degrees Celsius. Raw materials are collected locally, and the knowledge and skill are passed on to younger generation within the family through hands-on practice. The evaluation body considered that the nomination meets all 5 criteria. The file well explained that despite many safeguarding efforts, the viability of the element is still a risk because of various threats. The file details the safeguarding plan for the element, which will be implemented over 4 years, in coherence with the threats. In conclusion, the evaluation body recommends the inscription of this element on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much for the presentation. The Bureau did not receive any request for debate or amendment for this file. So may I therefore ask the committee to adopt the draft decision on this file as shown on the screens as a whole. I see no objection. Therefore, I declare decision 17.com 7.8.3 adopted. Congratulations, Vietnam. Vietnam, you have the floor. And then we will have a video after the intervention. Thank you. On va attendre que le micro soit rétabli. Merci à la République tchèque.
Oui, ça marche. Okay.
Mr. Chair, distinguished delegates, at this moment, Cham people ethnic groups in 2 provinces of Central Vietnam are very gratified that the art of pottery making of Cham people has been inscribed on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. With the consent of Prime Minister of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, on behalf of the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism, the local authority and the ethnic communities, we are committed to carrying out a national program, providing support to Cham pottery practitioners to safeguard the viability of this element. Finally, I would like to thank the Director General of UNESCO, the chairperson of the 17 sections, the evaluation body, committee member, the secretariat for the hard work and support for the inscriptions of these manifold elements from Vietnam. Thank you very much.
Je vais attendre que chacun retrouve sa place, le Vietnam et puis la République tchèque, que je remercie infiniment. Oh, thank you, Vietnam. So let us move now to the next file to be examined. Chubleta, I think. I don't know how you can say it. Chubleta, skills, craftsmanship, and forms of usage, submitted by Albania. The committee is asked to decide whether the nomination fulfills the criteria for inscription on the urgent safeguarding list and whether the international assistance request fulfills the criteria for granting assistance. It is important to underline that the committee decides on the conformity of the nomination with criteria for inscription on the urgent safeguarding list, together with its decision on the extent to which the request meets the criteria for international assistance. We already have the criterion for inscription on the urgent safeguarding list in mind. However, before starting our examination, let us remind ourselves of the criteria that shall guide our decision today regarding the international assistance request. So can we see them on the screen? Yes, we have them. In addition, paragraph 10 of the operational directives refers to two factors that the committee may wish to also consider in its evaluation of international assistance requests. Displayed on the screen. Concerning the international assistance requests, allow me to further recall that we have to evaluate to which extent the request meets the criteria for international assistance as a whole. In other words, it is not necessary to meet each and every criterion in order for the request to be approved. Keeping in mind these two sets of criteria and the approach of the evaluation body, we will now examine the file Chubleta Skills, Craftsmanship and Forms of Usage submitted by Albania. So, evaluation body, please share with us the findings of the body on this combined nomination and request. Thank you. Merci.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The next file, as you said, is Chubleta, I'm so sorry, with Albania, skills, craftsmanship and forms of usage submitted by Albania. The element is an handcrafted garment worn by Highland women and girls in northern Albania, characterized by its undulating bell form. Chubleta was used in everyday life from the age of puberty, indicating the wearer's social and economic status. Today, few women possess the knowledge of the entire process, and traditional family-based transmission is rare. Nevertheless, the element has maintained its social and spiritual significance and is still considered an integral part of Highland identity. The evaluation body considered that the nomination meets all 5 criteria, and I appreciate a well-prepared file that can serve as a good example of a comprehensive safeguarding plan to address the viability of an element that is under threat and the need of urgent safeguarding. At the same time, the body highly appreciates the file for considering the reusability of materials and environmental sustainability in the process of safeguarding the element. In conclusion, the evaluation body recommends the inscription of this element on the list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. Regarding the international assistance request, Albania has requested international assistance from the Intangible Cultural Heritage Fund for the implementation of the safeguarding plan for the element. The proposal is a 2-year safeguarding program that aims to support efforts to enhance the practice and transmission of the element in northern Albania. It has 3 main objectives, and there is a strong cooperation with the community concerned. The budget includes a detailed description of the expenses. In conclusion, Mr. President, the evaluation body recommends also to approve the international assistance request by the state party. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. The Bureau did not receive any requests for debate or amendment for this file. May I therefore ask the committee to adopt the draft decision on this file as shown on the screens as a whole. I see no objection. I therefore declare decision 17.com 7.8.4 as adopted. Congratulations, Albania. Madam Minister, you have the floor.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, honorable participants, on behalf of all Albanians and Albanian government, I would like to express all my gratitude to the committee for the decision to include the mastery and excellence of the making of Gjubleta in the list of intangible cultural heritage, and also in need of urgent safeguarding and international assistance. For us Albanians, Gjubleta is not just a costume, or another dress, it's a way of life. Gjubleta accompanies women from the Albanian highlands from birth to death, being with them in joy and sorrow. In North Albania, where women still wear this costume, you often heard them say that Gjubleta is as old as humans, and indeed, archaeological discoveries tell us about a 4,000-year-old Gjubleta costume. All this time, it has witnessed the history of the inhabitants of our lands, changing with them while enriched with life experience and symbols that would take years to unravel. Today, everything is easy through technology. It's not difficult to make from a production line an outfit similar to Gjubleta, but the beauty of the original, as made by our mothers, I think is unattainable. The whole process of making a Gjubleta is a sort of ritual in itself, and it includes not only the knowledge of weaving, but also the knowledge of the magical formulas that women and girls whisper during the process of the dress to be beautiful and long-lasting. This beautiful tradition has been passed on from generation to generation and to stand the test of time thanks to the efforts and dedication of the local community where it has survived to this day. Its protection and transmission also to the other generation has now become not only national, but also an international obligation, thanks to the inclusion of Gjubleta today in the list of intangible heritage. From now on, it will be mandatory to set up structures for the documentation, to create an accurate mapping where the Gjubleta is used and made to create the right infrastructure that enables the transmission of knowledge from generation to generation, and to teach young girls and promote it as an extraordinary asset to Albanians and the whole Mediterranean area. Today is only the beginning of a lifelong work for the preservation of this heritage. So far we brought it alone, but now together we will carry it along. Thank you.
Encore une fois, toutes mes félicitations à l'Albanie. Merci beaucoup.